So real estate isn't just about your house. It's about where your house is, and what makes a great sale in one neighborhood may also be a great lease in another neighborhood. And so we're going to talk about what are some of the neighborhood factors to consider, whether you're looking to buy to own it or buy to hold it and lease it out. A lot of times you hear location, right? It's all about location.
It's all about location.
But we have different versions of our location, right? Of what we really like to see. I could definitely see also the caveat of short-term rentals. They have their own versions of location because it's touristy, and we've talked about that in the past, right? What are some of the big things you see when people are looking to rent a home? What do they want in the neighborhoods?
It really depends on each family.
Okay.
You have some are looking for a new construction, so you got the new neighborhoods,
and probably the community pool
that are going out everywhere. And
yes.
With those neighborhoods, you have the pickleball courts.
Yep.
You got the playgrounds. You got the pools. You got the clubhouse.
The school is right down the
workout.
street.
You got this elementary is probably in the neighborhood.
Yes, walking trails.
So you got a lot of people doing that, but also you have a lot of first-time home buyers. They're looking for cheap, so they're looking to try to get in the lowest rent that they can get because that's all they have for a budget. So it really depends on each family.
They probably make more concessions as a renter than they would as a buyer for a location, because if they can't afford it, they're not going to move there.
Right.
And there's usually not a way for them to afford it more unless a job changes or maybe they get a roommate or something that help with the rental.
Right.
So that makes sense that they kind of just get what they get. So as an owner of a hold property, you want to be able to have a good budget, but be in a desirable neighborhood
good
too.
Price point.
It's probably going to always rent at that point, right?
Right.
That makes sense. Us, for sure, we always have questions about the schools. The schools. And we can't necessarily say what the school ratings are. We can point to an authority of school ratings, and there's plenty of online school rating websites that you can look at. Oh, we have so many A+ schools in this area.
Yeah,
we're really lucky to have so many great schools. It's just whether you want a school district that has 4 high schools in it or a school district that just has 1 high school in it. That really comes down to the question is how big is the school district?
It takes away one of your factors.
Yes.
Because
they have more opportunity.
All pretty good.
Yes, they're all really darn good. And then what I see sometimes is, depending on price point, you get people who are purchasing a home that they don't want a bunch of renters in the neighborhood, right? So sometimes that will bring the value down of the neighborhood if it's full of renters, which makes sense why some HOAs will cap, because they want to maintain the values for everybody.
Yeah, I was getting ready to mention, you got to read the HOA covenants.
Yes.
You have the caps. You have you got to be there a minimum a certain amount of years. There's so much restrictions, and it's not across the board. Every single HOA has their own.
And sometimes the HOA changes, and so you have a new company running it. And so when you bought it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and then the HOA company changed, the rules could have changed at the same time.
Right.
So you should always check it before you decide to list it out for lease, because maybe you're not allowed to anymore.
Right. I've even had an owner, I'd been working with her from an investment group, and she called me up one day. Hey, I bought a house. Mm-hmm. And we started talking about the house, and she wanted us to manage it for her. And I got her to I got one question, because you're close to another neighborhood that has many restrictions on rentals. You need to read your covenant. And she read the covenant, and she couldn't back out of the purchase of the house. She had to buy it. But she had to live in the house for 2 years before she could rent it. And she ended up having, I'm going to flip the house in. Mm-hmm. So she bought it, and she turned around and had to flip it. So she probably lost on that deal.
Yeah, because if you weren't buying it as a flip, it probably wasn't structured for a flip opportunity.
That's very important. Don't get caught in that trap.
Yes. Read your documents first. So then the challenges to look at around areas of neighborhoods, one thing that we struggle with is if there's a nearby new construction opening up with all these brand new homes that are very similar, maybe only slightly priced more. There was a time where they were priced astronomically more, so it was easy to make the decision. But they're coming out with homes that are almost cheaper than resale homes.
Their prices are coming
down. Now the yards are smaller. They're cramming more in one space. But some people are like, hey, it's a brand new home. I don't really need the backyard. I can move on.
20-year-old old house?
Yes. Or that. So that becomes where it gets a little difficult. And so sometimes we'll have those conversations with those sellers and say, look, you have to wait till all this new construction finishes building out before you make a decision because there's too much competition. And so sometimes it's like, okay, let's go rent it out instead if we can, or we just need to sit still for a minute. And I mean, sometimes it can take 3, 5, 7 years to build out the rest of that neighborhood. And people don't do it because they want that to happen. Usually a life change happens and they have to move or something changes. And those new construction, there's a lot of little bedroom towns that we have in the surrounding areas that are full of just sticks going up left and right with new construction. And we're picking up more and more of those properties. Which is crazy because I thought you couldn't turn them into rental properties. I guess if they intend to live in them first and then it turns, because you usually can't buy it as a rental property. You just have to buy it as a single family home. And then something changes and now you can't live anymore. But there are some few neighborhoods that you can actually buy straight investor. We're starting to pick up the more and more that like the 2 or 3 year old divisions. Because it's not bad. All the appliances are still good condition. Phase 1 of the neighborhood.
Phase 1 is okay. Phase 2 is not.
Yep.
So
no, that makes sense. Some of the other things when holding makes a little more sense for a property. Like we have a house in a town it's a small town, but it's near big retailers. It's got a huge highway coming through it. Like to me, the prices are really affordable. It makes sense to keep that house as a hold property because they can rent there, they can commute easily, they still can get to their grocery stores, all the things they need. They're probably never going to live there forever, but from a rental basis, it looked great. So we're still working on that, but what else are they looking like being close to hospitals? We have so many hospitals here.
They're everywhere.
Rentals are great next to those because a lot of times people are in town temporarily. They're not going to live here forever. Our airports, tons of condos and townhomes being rented out to airline staff because they might be based out of here, but most of the time they don't live in the area. And so they may just want to rent while they can. And we also get them where they buy and then they sublease it to their friends while they're out of town. It's a very interesting community.
We have a few properties where you're doing the traveling nurses or the traveling doctors or the airline people.
So, I mean, that's 2 or 3 different industries that if you were looking to invest in DFW, like you could target those areas and probably always have it rented out.
Right.
That was the big thing with college towns. Everybody always wanted to do that around college towns. So we don't have, we have some of the colleges here, but we don't have a big major college that people are flocking to. But in reality, we have tons of huge hospitals that people are flocking to and big, we got DFW and then we've got McKinney Airport starting to pick up. Yeah. Like we got all kinds of stuff going on. So I wouldn't sleep on it is what I would say. There's plenty of opportunity for rentals, to be desirable in their area.
Right.
For sure. When life hits hard, late payments, medical bills, job loss, or even the need to move quickly, many homeowners feel trapped. The fastest way out seems to be selling to a cash investor, but that means giving your home away for pennies on the dollar. You don't have to do that. Nearly half of homeowners today are equity rich, and that value belongs to you. With our One Move program, you can unlock that equity immediately, get cash in hand now, and still share in the upside when your home resells. Or, if you'd rather, we'll shop your property to multiple cash buyers so you can choose the best offer instead of settling for one low bid. Go to donedealoffers.com and discover the smarter way to get cash fast without losing the equity you've worked so hard to build.
What does Real Property Management do for you? Advertising, marketing, prepping, inspecting, showing and screening, reviewing, accepting, selecting and signing, briefing and moving, maintaining, inspecting, enforcing, responding, pricing and saving, communicating, emailing and calling and faxing and stating, coordinating, scheduling, unlocking, fixing. Accounting, reporting, funding, filing, and nixing. Complying, renewing or moving, collecting, evicting, assessing, rekeying, and ever repeating. And meanwhile, we're training and ever refining, always running to keep vacancies ever declining. Because real property management means oh so much more than cashing a rent check. Oh no, so much more. The discount shops say they can do all this too, without staff, systems, resources. How can that be true? Tens of thousands of investors nationwide know when they need real management, just where to go. We're proven and trusted winter, spring, summer, fall, from major catastrophes down to the small. So if you own rentals, grab the phone and make a call. Real Property Management. We handle it all.
Talk about like high vacancy or turnover rates in neighborhoods. You see full neighborhoods have that be a problem?
Yeah, usually the properties that are hard to sell or hard to rent out, it's highly competitive. So you got a lot of properties, and every single house is almost the same footprint, the same square foot, everything's the same. So everything's based off price point. So that makes it difficult during those times where you're trying to rent in that neighborhood. We have a couple of properties where they've been listed for a couple of months, and it's because there's 20 houses in that neighborhood.
Is there a reason why there's so many houses in the neighborhood? I could see
it's
some.
It's hard to tell because you got good schools right next to it. You got the shopping. It's more rural. You're a little further out from town.
So it's not as accessible or you might see that whole neighborhood is like grown up and they're all like downsizing now. They're moving on to the next phase. And so you'll kind of see they all moved in at the same time and they raised their kids, they went through the schools, and now they don't need all the house.
I would say most of those are starter homes.
Yep. And so you're seeing that turnover.
Homes. Yep.
And then, we've talked too, like if the neighborhood isn't a desirable neighborhood, it can be hard to get it rented out as well. Even though the price might be there, it's just, there's a lot of times you're probably coming across like single moms or, someone who needs a lower rent, but they also want the safety as well. Right. And sometimes the neighborhood doesn't support that either. They're almost better off in an apartment than trying to get a house. Yeah. And so I could see that being an issue. Yeah,
we have a few properties that are in low budget,
tough parts of town,
tough neighborhoods, and I don't like visiting them during the day, much less at night.
Right.
It's scary.
Yeah, and we've talked about too for the owner standpoint, like, are they going to get paid rent every month? Like, does it make sense to have that be your buy and hold, or should you maybe figure out a new plan with that property and find a more desirable neighborhood?
My recommendation is more desirable neighborhood.
Yep.
Spend a little extra money, even though you get 2 for 1. Maybe you get a duplex for the same price as a single house.
But all the headaches it comes with.
Your money's going to be made in the single family house.
Yes. And there's been a lot, like we're starting to see kind of the bands. That's how I think of it. Like you have DFW, you have Dallas as the center, and then you have all these rings around DFW of development over time. And we're seeing so much development hit north of 380 now. And the way I see it, like the whole Plano, Frisco, McKinney area is going to be the new downtown pretty soon. Like it's just going to move up where everyone's going to drive to there. Yeah, they're not going to go all the way down to Dallas to get the amenities of a downtown. They're going to build that all here, and then that's what they drive into from Salina and Sherman and Howe. And I mean, golly, the development plans for Howe right now are just crazy how many houses they're putting up there. Like that's a great spot to go get investment because they're bringing in amenities too. They're bringing in master plan communities. They're not just doing one-off little mom and pop houses with the small builder. Like they're putting in big homes up there. It's a good little spot. Do you know how much it costs per acre right now in Salina, in certain parts of Salina, to get an acre?
I don't.
I ran comps the other day. It said $200,000 an acre, just raw land. It's crazy. And Howe is like already up to $85,000. I remember one day in Melissa, you could get like $7,000 an acre, and people were losing their minds. It was $7,000 an acre in Melissa. The development just keeps moving up and up and up. And so if you're looking to invest, like the time was yesterday, 100%. And the next best time is today. Like get into the market and build your way up. Some people think they have to get the top of the line, cash producing, all that. No, get your foot in the door on the first one and then make the decisions afterwards. Just find a good, desirable area.
Domino effect.
Yeah, make sure your rents make sense. Don't lose your money. Like, it is just so. Walkability and amenities, I think, are really important to buyers and renters. I think they're both looking for that. And I think we're seeing that as a trend with all these builders. They're building that into these neighborhoods. So like you're saying, it probably makes sense to maybe look in a newer home as a rental property, even as a purchase versus a super old home. But the old ones do well too. You're just not going to get probably as much money per month.
It depends.
Depends. That's your favorite thing. It's always. I can't get you to pick one or the other. You're always going to tell me it depends. It depends. That's what you're supposed to say.
It sells.
It is sales. So zoning changes. How often do you have to look at zoning? Or are you taking it case by case on that?
We leave that up to the realtors.
Yeah.
Make sure your realtor confirms.
Yes, because by the time it gets to you, it's too late.
We're just.
We have to know that part. That's my job. Yep. Darn. Oh man. We look. The zoning changes are really interesting. We're seeing like schools rezone. We're seeing commercial and residential spaces rezone. It's
yearly. It changes every year.
Always changing. And so if you're not paying attention to that, or you're not at least researching that when you go to buy, you really have to be aware. Like, we were looking at another house and deciding, should we develop on it or not? And I'm looking at it going, this 2-lane highway is going to be 6 lanes in 15 years. Did you know that? And so it's like that totally changes the investment strategy on it. Like now that's commercial frontage road potentially,
right? Not
my dream house road, which both are very lucrative spots, but you probably don't want to build your dream home that faces a 6-lane highway. Right. We might go, let's just wait till someone decides to pay me a lot of money because they want to put a commercial. Yes, exactly. So those are important things. So even if it doesn't look like it today, we can still do the research to see what's coming up, especially in those rural areas that are developing. Right. Obviously, the city center, there's only so much they can change right now, right? Like in the city proper. Aside from where they're zoning your high school or elementary school, that gets a little crazy sometimes.
A little tricky.
Noise. I think street noise and noise can be something.
We have people that the feedback we get, a house may back up to a busy street, or it may be next to a school or something.
Right.
We'll get feedback like that every once in a while, but most of the time the noise doesn't come into play.
That's more, I think, on my end that'll come into account. They're just looking for a place to hang their hat right now temporarily. Right. They're not going to be there forever, at least in their mind's eye. And so they can offset a noise issue. Right. We've had some that were like near railroad tracks. Like we've had a couple like Van Alstine, Anna, and they're like, how's the noise on the railroad track? It's like, well, I can't tell you. You have to stand inside the house and wait for a train to go by. That's really know.
That's your
and then there's some things you're just never going to know. Like my house personally did not realize that the backside of the school that we really love, we love being close to the school because our kids could just walk across the street and go to school. But guess what also is on the backside of the school? All the dumpsters. And guess who likes to come empty the commercial dump truck 6 a.m. in the morning? In the summertime too. It's all year. No one put that in a seller's disclosure that there's a dump truck that comes through and wakes you up like a heart attack every morning. But you know what? We just shifted our wake up schedule because I can't fix it. I'm not going to be able to tell the guy to stop calling. Even though there's city ordinance, you're not supposed to do it before 7 a.m. But we tried. We did try. But I mean, there's just some things but I love my house so much. It overrules that 1 5-minute ordeal every day.
One negative is doesn't hold you back.
No, it's not gonna hold me back. No, I'm more sad that I can't park in front of my house because of school traffic. But we also figured that out too. The neighborhood is important. Location.
Extremely important.
Extremely important. It's not just the house. You have to know all the other things that come along with it, and then understand that may make it a better lease or a better list or lease to list. It could go either way. Every situation is different.
That's right.